Hey guys, welcome into the Cloud9 Academy cast. We're going to get ready for our games today. But first, before we do, myself, Alex, Mad Magical Wielden, joined in by Sam, Cage in the Rage Ragey. We're going to talk about some Cloud9 news that we have from all the different teams around the Cloud9 organization. The first off, let's start with Rocket League. I believe if we look over to the Rocket League, they went to the global finals, and didn't they get 4th place?
They did get 4th place in an incredible match. They unfortunately lost to Dignitas in the loser semis, but they made an incredible run, made it all the way to winner semis, and this team looks like it has immense potential going into next season.
Yeah, that'd be really nice to see how Cloud9, especially in Rocket League, are going to be able to kind of grow as an organization, grow as a team in the future. And speaking of growing, we just picked up a Rainbow Six Siege team, and I believe that's led by Goddess herself. That's coming over from Beast Coast Gaming.
Beast Coast Gaming, very popular, been around for the last few months, but then Cloud9 picking that roster up is going to be so huge. This team is already showing a lot of potential, unfortunately going 0-6 on Monday night, but I feel like that's just jitters, getting over being on camera again under a new organization. Once they get those issues fixed, this is going to be a team to watch, especially with Goddess at the helm.
Exactly, and hopefully we'll see a lot of different teams around Cloud9 actually being able to pick up a lot of slack, because we picked up a bunch of things for the Battle Royales that have been coming out to everyone for like Fortnite, PUBG, H1Z1. I believe we have a team now in all 3 of those games.
We do actually have all of those games. We have the PUBG team. They've been going off, haven't quite won a title yet, but they have been adopted from the H1Z1 roster, and as they continue to play, they will continue to get better. So their most recent finish was 10th in the PUBG Global Invitational. So getting a little bit of work done. I feel like, again, if we just keep with this roster, maybe make a couple upgrades here and there communication-wise, then we'll be on our way.
That'd be really nice to see, especially because I love PUBG. They got the new map coming in.
I know, it looks great.
So I've been playing a lot of that myself. Not been doing so well.
No.
I must say, that is a chaotic map. Same with Fortnite, a very chaotic game where we have that new team coming in.
We do have that new team coming in. Very exciting stuff coming onto the Cloud9 roster. Hysteria. This is a player that everyone should be familiar with. Hysteria, the incredible streamer, the incredible player. Definitely bringing it up on those Friday night jams. And we're going to see him along with a bunch of other friends. We got Stark2K, also great. We got a few. We got Blind, we got Top Boy, we got Chris, we got Boss, we got Shivsy, and Bandit. Try to keep that in your heads, ladies and gents, because that is a few great names that we got on this team.
A lot of great names coming in for Cloud9, and the last one to really touch on, going to be H1Z1. Personally, myself, I haven't played it since, PUBG and Fortnite, but definitely really cool to see that Cloud9 still expanding, making sure they're getting teams into that realm. So honestly, with H1Z1, what do we expect?
Well, with H1Z1, we saw their play just a little bit ago. I believe that was earlier this week, where they did go against all these other teams. And one thing I like about the H1Z1 professional scene is how you can have all these 15 teams on the same map. They're going for kills, not necessarily to be the last one standing.
Exactly. So it makes it a little bit more chaotic, wanting to have these fights, wanting to be aggressive instead of just having to hang back and maybe hide in a bush until that final circle when you finally see some action coming down. So it'll be really cool to see how Cloud9 are going to be able to really expand in those Battle Royales. But guys, we all know why you're really here. We're all really here for League of Legends and Trivia.
Yes,
both
indeed.
Those two, Arena Trivia, the free-to-download app that you can get on your iOS device if you want to be able to play. I believe we have really cool mobs today. It's going to be junglers and jungles that you can choose from, so you can play different trivia, try to win some money for that one. And if you share it with your friends, you can actually win a little bit more money. So try to refer some people if you want to win a little bit extra cash.
A little bit of extra cash is going to help anyone, especially if you feel confident in these two categories, junglers or jungles. These two mobs, very exciting.
See, now I wish that you could actually play as the jungle. So it's like the old days of Left 4 Dead, back when you can play as the zombies. So that's what I kind of wish you could do, and you had like different level ups that you can go for. Maybe you can play the Rift Herald, and you have like that certain zone that you can play in.
Oh yeah,
that'd be really interesting.
You just control it. I've always wanted to have a game where you just control the environment,
right? And
it's up to the player, like maybe your friends or something, to go against you in your own custom-built jungle. That would be so cool to have.
I know over for LCS they've been doing the Scion Speedways, and I thought that was such a cool thing to see who gets the fastest. Of course, Hooney's the one winning, because that guy can play every single role, including coaching, so it's really crazy to just see what he does.
Yeah, I'm sure you're up to date with that graphic, folks at home, because this man is talented. He can not only do Lucian, but his Everything is so good right now.
All right, but guys, we are getting into Arena. The trivia is sponsored by Arena. My bad, I almost messed that one up. But we are going to get in. It's a free-to-play app on your iOS device. In fact, I'm going to try to play it because I want to win some free money.
Please
I don't know about you guys out there, and I like to answer some trivia. We'll be trying to answer it alongside with you guys. So what should we go for, junglers or jungles?
Well, when I think about jungles...
Yeah, we're going jungles.
Yep.
Yeah, see,
jungles is the right answer.
Just because I already had said, like, the whole idea of wanting to play as
being the living jungle.
Right.
Yeah.
I not necessarily just Ivor and being friends with it. I want to be the jungle.
Yeah.
I want to put old mobs
I want to
in
be
there
the
too.
Krug.
Well, see, now that would be interesting. So you get, like, certain resources that you have to put down into the map, and you have, like, a certain amount you can spend, so you can make certain camps really strong, certain camps really weak, and try to see if you can beat the jungler, essentially. Where maybe you can make really, really powerful camps, but then at the same time, by doing that, you made some weaker camps, and they just farm that for a while, and then get strong enough to beat those really strong ones you made.
Or, you know, you could just play against Double Lift. I've heard he is not the greatest against red buff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
That's unfortunate. I mean, or you can play Twisted Fate and then just use your Destiny Gate only to secure red buffs.
Sure could.
Yeah, I remember that when that was a time.
Yep.
That was a time.
Good old Messiah.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you were... Wow, you got my reference. Most people, that goes right over their head when I start talking about history of, like, competitive League of Legends, where I mention something like that, and everyone's like, wait, that happened? That was a thing? Like, yep. Just look up Messiah. You'll see all the clips of him actually using the TF ult to go and secure red and blue buff. Not actually getting anything. Not even getting valuable knowledge, because everyone had already backed. He just wanted to get the buffs.
Important. Very important at that stage in the game. That was, what, early Season 2?
It was Season 2, and he did it all the way to Season 4. Yeah, he kept it going for a while. I thought that was quite ridiculous to
absolutely insane.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know what else is insane?
Arena.
Got to get that free to download app on your iOS device, because we are getting into that very shortly before we do get into our first game between Cloud9 Academy and FOXa Academy. I believe FOXa is currently playing right now against TSM, so let me see if I can get that pulled up really quick just so we can give you a little bit of context of what's going on in that game. I believe it actually ended.
It just ended.
Oh, it did just end. So I want to be able to say, do we know who won? Not yet. Because that way we can give a little context to the viewers out there. So here, I'll try to pull that up on my phone really quick.
But FOXa Academy going for that back-to-back game, so they will be against Cloud9 Academy just coming up in a little bit here. Game starts in 17 minutes and 39 seconds, so be sure to catch that in addition to playing on Arena.
Exactly. So I'm looking that up really quick just so I can tell everyone.
Always good.
Well, because it was actually really interesting. We looked at the first game of the day. TSM Academy against Golden Guardians Academy, where actually TSM Academy won by a backdoor from Piecake Lord, where Golden Guardians Academy were trying to force down mid. They had gotten the inhibitor, but they did not respect Aatrox's backdoor, and by that point, he was 3-0-3. He was not someone that could be trifled with, and it was actually FOXa that won that game against TSM Academy, so we'll be 1-for-1 for TSM Academy, and FOXa coming off a victory themselves. That's going to make it so that they do have a little bit more confidence against Cloud9 Academy, especially with how we know the roster swaps have happened. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we get closer to the game, because we want to talk about the arena a little bit more now that we are getting closer to the start. I believe that will start in 2 minutes. It starts out 1:40 Pacific Daylight Savings Time, so that way you guys can make sure to stay and play with us, win some free money, refer some friends. You can even get lives if you really need to, if you're not feeling as confident, or if there's some really tricky answers, which there are.
They are really hard.
They definitely throw some curveballs. The first 3, 4 ones, super easy. You get to that 5th one, that's when you're just like, okay, now it's the real deal. So just looking over to that FOXa game. Wow, that was a snowball. It was a really close game until 23 minutes when it was a trade for inhibitors, actually. And just FOXa, with that trade, were able to start getting towers, push down more objectives, and couldn't be stopped.
I mean, when you have a Kaisa, you have so many options for snowballing. There was just so much support on his side with the Sejuani and with the Tahm Kench. There was no stopping him. We saw, even when we were watching just back here, we saw the Kaisa go 3-0 to start, and there was no letting up on the gas pedal. So that must have been what happened there.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking at it again just to make sure. Because I want to get the stats, but it's not pulling up the actual stats.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. It's only giving me old stats. I'm like, I don't want old stats.
Nope.
I want new stats.
Need it to be fresh, quick, and easy. Much like downloading the Arena app on your iOS device. Quick, easy, get it done, win free money playing trivia.
Exactly, guys. Who doesn't want to win some free money playing at trivia? I know I want to win free money.
I know I absolutely do. We have not yet. I have to say that we have not yet won money on the broadcast.
Yeah, that's been most unfortunate.
Yeah.
Most unfortunate indeed. But we actually, I think, are getting into the game now. Because it's 140.
It is 140.
I'm opening it up just to make sure.
We've chosen our mob, jungles. So if you want to keep up with the casters, jungles. Or if you want to go against us, think you're better than trivia than us, junglers.
You want to choose the winning side.
Yeah, that would be us.
Why would you want to not choose the winning
I don't know. Some people are just combative like that.
Yeah, I guess. And then again, they could also troll us and be like, nah, we're not gonna actually go and try. We're gonna make sure that you get tanked, you lose all that money.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like the game will be starting in, what is that, 1 minute and 50 seconds? Very shortly up here, guys. Be sure to download Arena Trivia.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be starting any minute, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. There we go. I saw it. I saw it. I saw the timer.
There it is.
Timer showed up for a second. Just want to make sure. I'm still trying to pull up the games. Here we go. Today is the 28th.
It is indeed a beautiful Thursday afternoon coming from LA.
Shows upcoming. Oh, here we go.
Hi, everyone. The game is going to start in just about a minute or 2 minutes, or however long this thing lasts. But before we get going, I want to make sure you guys know all the rules so you can win that money. First, you have to join one of our mobs. There's always a choice of 2, and don't worry if you haven't chosen one yet. You're going to get another chance once the game starts. Select whichever one you want, but you can't play unless you do. Once you're in a mob, you're going to be asked some questions. You'll have 10 seconds to choose your answer from the time the question appears, so act fast. If you answer correctly, you move on to the next question. If you're incorrect or you run out of time, you lose a life. Once you're out of lives, you're out of the game. If you make it to the end and get that final question right, you'll split the game's cash prize along with the other winners. And here's the best part of it all. If your mob has the higher percentage of remaining players at the end, your prize is doubled. So hopefully you got some smarties playing along with you in your mob. There are a couple of ways to get help along the way. You see that button? We call that an ATM for Ask the Mob. Once a game, if you're stuck on a question, hit that and you'll automatically answer with your mob's most popular choice. That's another good reason to bring your smart friends along with you to your mob.
That's
you
him.
can also use up to 2 bonus lives.
This will be interesting, though. I wonder what kind of questions they're going to ask with junglers and junglers.
What is the summoner spell necessary for jungling? And the answer is Flash.
No, it's Ghost.
You'll get more each week along with
Forgot about that Hecarim jungle.
Hecarim jungle, Olaf used to be able to take that. Same with Skarner.
Yep.
So,
the good old days. Udyr.
That way,
oh dear,
Udyr. When a game is ready to start.
Oh dear.
Alrighty.
Gotta open those gates, you know?
Because you're about to enter
D
the
gates
arena.
coming down.
Good luck.
Exactly. Here we go. All right. So we're a little ahead of the thing, so we won't spoil the questions until they come up for you guys.
Yep. But we will talk about it with you
as
soon as it is caught up.
I don't like this, this video that they have. It's all retro.
Yeah.
Actually, it's pretty cool.
I'm digging it. Super digging it.
Then again, I kind of like that older, 80s style of
It's been coming back a lot.
It has been. I've been seeing that a lot more. It's so interesting.
Hello, you.
Hello.
That is a different guy.
Hi, there you
Hi,
are.
guy.
Hello.
Good to
I'm
see
so
you.
happy to see all of you out there. I can't actually see you, but I'm trying to kind of channel my inner Mr. Rogers. Have you seen that movie yet? My friend saw it and said she cried the whole 90 minutes, but the good way. So maybe this weekend.
Wait, there's a Mr.
Anyways,
Rogers
welcome to
movie?
the arena.
Yeah, it's a documentary.
Really?
Mr.
Yeah,
Sherwin.
I had no idea. I love
Sherwin
Mr.
is my
Rogers.
name.
I
Just
watched that as a
Mr.
kid.
Rogersing it.
Go check it out.
It is
After
super
downloading the
Thursday, so
Arena
please
app and
get
winning that
pumped
free
for
money to
2
see a movie
games
ticket.
today.
Hey,
And if that's not enough, should
you
get
might be
excited for
able
the
to get enough
upcoming
money if you
matches
win.
It could
between
happen.
Cloud9
Exactly.
and the
Especially with
Echo
how
Fox
tough
and
these questions
Optic
are.
Gaming
Yeah. By the way,
Academies.
there's 420 people in this.
Oh,
No.
I
It got spoiled. 422.
Oh, no, more people joined.
Because we are about
Wait,
to
that is-
mosey
oh, that's a
our
great
way to
thing.
some
Yeah,
cold,
that's
hard
a great
cash.
thing.
Good thing.
As always, A hearty welcome to all of our new
We
players.
picked our
Hi,
mob.
welcome.
Yep.
We're glad you're here. Here is the info you're going to need to get started.
Who's going to join us?
First,
Who's going to go
you
in the
gotta choose
jungles?
your
Who's going to go
mob.
for the junglers?
Today we've got an important part
Ooh,
of every
close.
league team.
Well, actually, jungles.
And an important part
So
of
far.
the world's ecosystem. Today it's junglers versus jungles.
This is close.
Do you love the beautiful natural creatures that
Whoa,
roam free,
junglers.
living their lives
Oh,
in the great
suddenly
untamed
picking
wilderness
up.
out there?
Giant spike
Or do
up
you
right
track them
there.
down, hunt them, and take
Looks
them
like
out?
we are part of the
No matter
minority
which
right
one,
now.
That is it for mob selection.
shoot.
We are locked
That
in.
just
So next
leaves
you're going to get
more
10
options.
questions. If you get them all right, you will win a share of our $250 prize. Get a question wrong,
you're gonna hold the
and
phone.
you're
I
out
will hold the
forever,
phone.
permanently. Psych,
We
that's
will
not
answer
actually the
some
case.
trivia.
If you become a part of Arena VIP, you can use one of your bonus lives, those red hearts up there, to get back in the game.
Yeah, I was
right.
just about to, say, unfortunately, guys, it does seem that we are going to be jumping over to the pick and bans because that started a lot earlier than we expected for the FOXa Academy and Cloud9 Academy games. So we'll be hopping over that. We hope you do download the Arena Trivia app on your iOS device so that way you can play some fun trivia, win some free money. But like we said, we're going to hop over to the pick and ban so we can get underway for this back-to-back series that we'll be seeing before Cloud9. First one against FOXa Academy. And look at the bans. We got Rakan, Talia, Nocturne already coming in.
We already saw the Talia ban last game versus TSM Academy. FOXa Academy not feeling very confident against this pick. And the Rakan, I have to agree with entirely because he is so versatile and allows for so much engage that they don't want it in the hands of Zeyzal.
So I'm really expecting to see Cloud9 Academy banning the Zoe because we have had the roster swap. So Keith and Zeyzal are coming in from the LCS to the Academy team. So they're going to be going in. It looks like Keith will be in the mid lane while Zeyzal going for support.
Very interesting. There are so many options now that we have 2 career 80 carries into this matchup. We have Keith, we have Sneaky. It turns out that Keith was the decision for mid. I don't know what he's going to pick in that position. Maybe he'll still go with something more classic like a Kai'Sa, like an Ezreal, something he feels comfortable on. Or maybe he'll play one of these mages that is so popular.
Something we actually have been seeing a lot out of teams is the gold funneling strat. Get Nunu with something like Kai'Sa, Kayle, Karthus. Give all the gold from the jungle over to this mid laner who's going to then take Smite. So could that be a possibility? Are they going to go for that for Cloud9 or even for FOXa?
It could be, absolutely. When you have funneling, you have the ability to just pick a lane, say, this is going to be our carry for this game, this is our win condition. And Kayle is still available, we still have Kai'Sa available, we still have these hyper carries available.
And Shen getting locked in, so that could be for Shiro or could be for Zeyzal. We do know Zeyzal, like Smoothie, has been playing a lot of that Shen into that supportive role. In fact, I believe if we look over towards our stats from last week, I'm just going to pull those up really quick for you guys. Because I believe we actually saw Shiro play Shen last week against Golden Guardians Academy. And then we also saw, I believe, Zeyzal playing that. But I believe that was more just coming off of their scrims.
Yes, indeed. And most exciting, we've seen this a lot in scrims, is this Nunu coming out for Blaber. He has been so instrumental in these funnel strategies on the Nunu. He's been playing a lot of it, pairing up with the mid lane.
So this is also another thing we've been seeing a lot of is getting Graves for your jungler and then having something like Braum mid lane where you pretty much give all the gold, but with the Braum already banned, that kind of takes away that. And then I love this.
Yeah.
That is the Kayle locked in, something we were just talking about because how Nunu interacts with Kayle.
And we have seen Keith playing this in scrims, ready for this pick potential. Kayle is such a great thing. Yes, Kayle can do it. She can mid, she can 80 carry, she can support, she can top, she can jungle. But right now, she has to hard carry on this team comp. She has the tools available to her in that Blood Boil and that Stand United, so she is ready to dominate this game.
Something we do know is Sneaky has been playing a lot of Kayle. Just whether it's solo queue, whether it is scrims, he has been practicing a lot onto this champion, especially with this strategy. So if you're on FOXa, you got to look at things like Morgana, Tark, that you might want to take away from Cloud9 because they could go hard in on to funneling all the gold onto Kayle. And once she gets to 4 or 5 items, that's going to be very difficult.
Indeed, but they've instead gone for the Singed Band, which is a little perplexing considering Shen can flex to top or the bot lane. Morgana, I have to agree with 100%. She pairs so well with Kayle, giving that black shield on top of the intervention. So much potential for a hyper carry, and now that is off the board.
I almost wonder if Cloud9 locked in Tark here just to make sure to take that away from FOXa so they can't do a similar gold funneling strat for Graves.
And Graves, as we've been discussing, but Shiro coming back with his week 1 signature pick, the Riven.
But this would be a blind pick Riven. You're leaving the 80 carry role, which could be for Sneaky or Keith, depending on how they want to flex that around, completely open. You're not knowing how this is going to be, because that Ornn, it can go bot lane for all we know. It could go mid. It can go on to lost. That's how strange this meta is, because we're still on 8-12. This is where there's a lot more flexibility in what you want to go for, with a Rumble being hovered. That shows us right there that they pretty much read that on Echo Fox.
Indeed they did, and Riven is so exciting to see. I'm not entirely positive how the Rumble does against a Riven. Yes, there's the ability for poke. Yes, there's the mid-game team fight, but in the 1v1 lane, you still have the ability to snowball a Riven. I don't believe that snowball potential is as prevalent for Rumble.
It is a little bit less likely, but he is still oppressive.
Yes.
Especially with the Flame Spitter, how much damage he can dish out and make it very difficult for Shiro to play aggressive, because we know how Shiro likes to play. He likes to play right in your face, shove out the way, look for these solo kills, but seriously, you have to be careful for Shiro. He has to play safe. He does not want to give any advantage, because the Rumble and Riven matchup is so volatile. Whoever gets that first kill can just take over the game.
They absolutely can, and we've seen Shiro able to take over games. We've also seen him getting caught out, so it will be entirely up to the team to play around their funnel. So we have the Kayle on the side of Cloud9 Academy. Looks like going over to Sneaky thus far, but picks have not been locked in yet.
So something that could happen, something we haven't seen too much, but is a rumbling of what happens, is
rumbling.
I did that on purpose. Rumble into mid lane. So you have that against something like Kayle, who is a little bit weaker in the earlier stages of the game, where she does need to go to a lot more of the items. She needs Ginsu's, even go for the Runon's Hurricane that you sometimes see on her Nashor's Tooth. These are the 3 core items for her, but she needs to have those, while Rumble, all he needs is to get the Landry's, and he's going to melt you.
That's very true, and now we do have the lock-ins coming in, so Ezreal will actually be mid so far, so Keith picking that up. Maybe he'll rotate to the bot lane. We don't know. 8-12 is such a chaotic meta that you can put that Ezreal mid, but most likely going to bot side with Zeyzal on the Shen. And I have to say, looking between these two comps, which have just blacked out, it's fun.
Okay. We'll be able to get into that in just a second, because they're getting into the game. They're loading up into it, and honestly, it's something very interesting to see. This is, like I said, we've seen a lot of it. Kayle onto Sneaky. He's been playing it in solo queues and been playing it in scrims, gold funneling as much as possible, but they only have the double support. You have Nunu, you have Shen. Usually you see this when you have the 3 supports. That way you can get as much bang for your buck onto Kayle, because you're literally giving her everything on the map.
Yes, and in this case, we're not actually seeing everything going towards her. We still have the Ezreal as a potential mid-game spike in that team comp. When you have a Kayle and you have an Ezreal, at the very least, if one does really well, then you can just funnel all of your team's abilities onto the whatever works. So you can use that intervention, you can use the Blood Boil, and you can use the Stand United on either of 2 opponents.
Exactly, and it's really interesting to see. I kind of like seeing Ezreal on to Keith, just because he does sometimes get himself caught out a little bit too aggressively, and Ezreal always has that get-out-of-jail-free card, where you can just Arcane Shift back. You have a little bit more flexibility with playing forward, so it does kind of show a little bit more to the strengths of Cloud9, but like we were saying, just with the composition that you want to go for, usually you want to have so much gold put on to your Kayle, wanting to get that 5-item spike by 25 minutes, which is ludicrous to have thought about just like 4 months ago. Say, oh, get 5-item spike at 25, 30 minutes. You used to be able to go, no, that's not possible. But when you're trying to get here as much farm as possible, but it's jungle, mid, bot, everywhere, it is now physically possible.
It certainly is, and especially if you take the smite on Kayle, and this is something we haven't talked about yet, but in order to make this strategy work, we have seen the Nunu go exhaust typically.
Always go exhaust, especially with the Kayle. Gonna more than likely, I'd be very hard-pressed to imagine smite's not on Kayle.
Exactly, and when you have that smite, you have the ability to build jungle item, not common, but you have that ability, and you can get the gold from all of those camps and get that experience. It's so necessary and so good when you can funnel all of that onto one person.
Exactly. So it's going to be very interesting to see. But then the other lane to talk about, since we already know it's Rumble versus Kayle, not something you normally see in mid lane, but top lane. Ornn against Riven. Riven is going to want to go for a lot of these kills and be a menace with split push, but early game is when Ornn is very powerful. Lots of base damages against Riven.
When you have an Ornn, you have that tankiness, and you have the brittle damage, which is so big in the early game, as you were saying. When you have the brittle, you have the ability to counter the Riven coming into you, using that Q, the Broken Wings, and then immediately getting damage, getting the shield, so you're not actually taking damage while at the same time CCing the Riven and getting damage onto her.
And not to mention, this is Nintendo X on Ornn, normally a jungle player. He is going against Shiro, who is one of the more aggressive top laners we see in Academy. Likes to go for these early kills, likes to shove in the wave, so Nintendo X could be a potential power point for Cloud9 to hit on to try to get especially Shiro ahead.
Very important, as well as funneling as much as you can onto that top side, but the Lucian was also locked in, so we have to look at that as much as humanly possible. You have the Lucian in the bot lane going with Soraka, of all things, because, hey, 8.12, anything can happen.
8.12, but this is where you have to wonder where or when, or if, any grievous wounds will be picked up by Cloud9, because you really need to make sure to cut through any of the healing that can come in when you have a Soraka, Mundo, and you have these massive healing up champions. But guys, I do believe we're getting into the game soon, so it should be really interesting to see how FOXa Academy are going to be able to take on Cloud9 Academy, especially after having just seen that previous game before. I still believe we haven't gotten the full results of that game, so we couldn't look at the overall. I'm just trying to pull it up really quick because I'd like to be able to reference that if we can. But if not, it's all right. I don't think we're going to be able to. So it's okay. It's okay. We're not going to be able to get that, to be able to kind of talk about.
I believe that is some audio from the arena game.
Yes, I do believe. Since we do have some time, it does seem that we have a little bit of time to get back in, so we might as well get back to our arena trivia and be able to kind of go over that. Nope, it does seem that
nope, the game
right
started.
As we were about to go back into the trivia, the game has started. So this will be the first match for Cloud9 Academy, as they're going to take on FOXa Academy, see if they can win, especially with the gold funneling strat that they've drafted.
And we haven't talked about this yet, but this is an entirely new roster that we're seeing out of Cloud9 Academy. Usually we see the Jensen, the Smoothie, and Sneaky, but now we've swapped out for Keith and Zeyzal.
And especially in the last week, Jensen Smoothie were considered the members of Cloud9 Academy that were winning and getting them their leads. Great plays out of Smoothie for initiations, while Jensen was doing work on that Yasuo. Now Cloud9 Academy have to change it, get Sneaky ahead on this Kayle.
Yep, and as we predicted, the Kayle is going mid, so the Nunu and the Kayle will usually rotate around trying to pick up both jungle and the mid lane farm. So that's a lot of gold funneling, and it will be interesting to see whether or not Odd Orange decides to go against that, try to disrupt that as much as possible, or just passively farm his own jungle.
He's currently just putting down some deep vision on each side to be able to spot out a little bit of movement, try to guess where the junglers are going to start, and since Sneaky and Blaber were on the top side, they actually are rotating down towards the bottom side, and it's so interesting to see how this has changed up for Cloud9 Academy, where they're not really relying on Blaber getting ahead the past few weeks. Even though we were just talking about Jensen and Smoothie being pivotal for their victories, Blaber as well has been one of the crutches that they were relying on. His Sejuani was beautiful in last week, but now Nunu with Kayle, it's such a starkly different idea out of Cloud9 Academy.
Starkly different, but in scrims, we've seen this happen. Blaber has been playing this Nunu with the Kayle mid, so this is not something they haven't practiced. This is something that they've been ready for the past week and have been working on to perfection so far.
I love seeing it with the Ancient Coin as well. Just try to get Blaber as much gold as possible still, so that way he can get their supportive items, probably go for an early Knights of Vow. That way they can really keep Sneaky alive. The name of the game, whenever you have a Kayle, is to keep Kayle going as long as possible. And Hisui is going to have a difficult time in shoving out this wave and maintaining pressure around the map, unlike Kayle and Nunu.
And Kayle and Nunu already going for that Scuttle Crab as early as possible, so that's another camp ready. And Graves counter jungling on the other side.
Counter jungling, but read by Cloud9 Academy, where they make the read, go for the trade, just splitting the map horizontally as they get the blue buff, maybe even looking for the top side, but there was a nice ward placed down by Nintendo X so that you could spot out if there was a potential roam and a potential gank from Sneaky and Blaber.
That gank certainly could happen, but for now, they're content just going for those Raptors, getting some more gold, and making sure that Sneaky has all the ability to carry that he possibly can. But as I say that, Graves trying to go in, get some vision, sees that it's gone, and now Kale and Nunu go back to the mid lane.
Go back to the mid lane, but with red buff still a possibility. Odd Orange wants to steal as much as possible from Sneaky and Blaber, as that's pretty much the only way you can do. Graves is very powerful into these two since it's early into the game, and he'll have a not a 3 buff start, I believe. I think they gave over the blue buff to somebody because he was able to get it. No, I think it was actually just the blue buff start from Sneaky. That's my bad.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, it was a blue buff start from Sneaky. They rotated and they pretty much just trade blue, blue, red, red.
Yep. So Graves getting that counter jungle was very good. Good read on his part to see that they did not have red, so he could just invade with impunity and not have to deal with any consequences. On the bot side of the map, I do have to worry about Keith getting poked out a lot. He's currently half the farm of Lucian, and that's not great for a start.
Adrian did not get the steal.
No.
I almost thought for a second, just because I saw the particle come back from the queue, that he got the steal. But that would have been impressive.
That would have been really
Stealing
good.
it with the star call from a Soraka, but great taunt coming in from Zeyzal, getting a lot of free damage onto the Soraka. Keith didn't really have a position to follow up. Minions were blocking, so Mystic shots could not connect.
I feel like that was a missed opportunity coming in from Cloud9 Academy. You had the taunt and you have Keith. These two have worked together for the last couple weeks in the LCS, so they should be more than ready. Oh, a little more fighting.
Lost getting that press the attack damage onto Keith, forcing out Ezreal, and Zeyzal wants to see if he can stick around for a little bit of experience, but probably not the best idea. Can't really duel with the double range of Echo Fox.
This range that's coming in from Echo Fox has been so effective in the early game. Lost just using his level 2 Lucian power spike. Yes, it's a meme, but it's also true. You have to look out for it, and getting the advantage over Keith. So teleport is burned, and now he's going to be back in this lane, but still down about 20 CS.
It's a massive differential this early into the game for Keith. And the moment he comes in, beautiful silence from Adrian. That way they can get the free star call. He cannot dodge out and takes a massive chunk from Soraka.
Soraka has been a very surprising pick. I feel like we have not seen a whole lot of it so far this season or on this patch, but it coming out has been so synergistic with Lucian, able to get a lot of damage onto Keith and making sure Zeyzal just can't get anything done.
But at the same time, Cloud9 don't really need to fight too much, even though they found themselves a little bit in the hole. About 300 gold. It's not very much, because all you want is Sneaky to continue to farm up. Get him to 15 minutes into the game. Hopefully not too much action happens, because if that's the case for Cloud9, it's beautiful. They will be very powerful in these team fights, especially for this Nunu and Kale, as Shiro, topside, already has Tiamat, going for a little bit of proxy against Intended.
And you can do that if you get ahead. Riven able to just pressure on that top lane because they know where Graves is all the time. They have great tracking of Odd Orange, and he has not been able to get anything done beyond stealing that red buff in the first 3 minutes, as we see Shen trying to rotate towards mid, but now coming back to bot.
On back to bot, not going to be able to get any sort of gank onto Yusui this early. But it's a sizable lead traded back and forth by mid and bot, as you see so much of this gold being funneled onto Sneaky. I'd love to see how much gold he is ahead of Yusui at this point, because he's up a decent amount of CS, but a lot of that is the jungle creeps. So it's really hard to read exactly how much gold differential is between the two.
Yeah, but you can at least see that that's a nice number. 76. Usually I try to get that by 10 personally, but honestly, they're already getting it by
nice
7.
Fights coming in, but this is a TP in behind, I believe, coming in from Nintendo. Here's the call of the Fort Guard. Flashed over the wall. Zeyzal needs to get to that, but it's going to be the collateral damage to pick up the kill, as Keith is stuck under the tower and will be funneled right onto Lost.
What a dive coming in from Fox Academy. Coming in, no hesitation on that teleport and call the Forge God, able to get 2 for nothing on the bot side.
This is what we said we didn't want to see for Cloud9 Academy. They couldn't give up this amount of pressure early, and with the first brick gold split by Echo Fox, they are starting to get a little bit of that lead, a little bit of a snowball that's going to be dangerous on Lucian. So let's take a look at this replay really quick. It's beautiful positioning by the side of Echo Fox. They already had Graves on the other side.
Yeah, and we see a taunt already going out for Zeyzal, not able to get anything, but on the top side, Call the Forge God didn't even need to do anything just because of Odd Orange's positioning. Overall, a great Graves play coming in.
Great Graves play, and it's actually really funny how we were able to get the replay right out. It actually almost went exactly to positions of where everyone was. But Shiro, nice call on top side. He already had a little bit of that pushing lead into Nintendo, or not being able to get that advantage over the Riven, but great flash, but was not well timed at all. And with the exhaust, it's not going to really help you, as it's going to be another harpoon and an auto attack for Yasui to pick up his solo kill over Blaber.
An unfortunate use of perfect timing there. Nunu just got caught out and was not able to get away from that. I have to wonder if the stopwatch was even necessary at that point.
Maybe a little bit of a waste, unfortunately. Even the flash could have probably been used over the wall to escape from Yasui, since Yasui flashed over the wall just to get on to Blaber himself. So it is a little unfortunate as they find themselves 3 kills behind, 2,000 gold in a deficit towards FOXa. We're riding a little bit high, especially after having played just earlier today, maybe learning a little bit from their game against TSM Academy and how they really need to play against this gold funneling strat that has been drafted by Cloud9.
And this is the second game in a row where we've seen them putting all of their eggs into the Lost basket, able to get a lot of damage on that bot side and picking things that make Lost feel comfortable. He has looked so good this week in comparison to the last couple of weeks where they have yet to find a win.
It's been a little bit difficult for FOXa, but they do find themselves ahead right now. However, this is against... We have to keep talking about it. We have to keep talking about how it's against the gold funneling strat of Cloud9, where as long as they don't fall too far behind, eventually sneaky on Kale is going to be too much for them to deal with, but they cannot be falling too far behind. And right now, they are in that hole. They have a little bit of a lost lead in this mid lane, as it does seem 4 members strong from FOXa want to get a little bit of chip damage, but they already saw Zeyzal coming down from the ward that they placed in since they got control of the bottom side of the map. They can keep eyes on Keith and Zeyzal.
They can get this chip damage down on the mid lane, but what they have to worry about is how low range they are. They have the Graves, they have the Lucian. Those are both fairly low range 80 carries able to get onto the turret. But beyond that, there's no range. They have to go up if they want to do damage.
FOXa were rotating, try to see if they can go on to Shiro instead of make the call for the Rift Herald. Cloud9 were shoving in mid. There was a possibility for them to get a little bit more damage, but they just don't have control. They don't have the vision necessary, especially on the top side of the map. You can see how little control that they have. Even though Shiro was able to get that tower, they haven't been able to translate that into vision.
Soraka picking up that Rift Herald, and now that they have it, they have so many abilities. This has been great rotations coming in from FOXa Academy, able to get the bot lane immediately to mid and then immediately going over to that Rift Herald. So much pressure coming from this team.
So far, I must ask you, Rage, looking at what we expect so far, Keith, he's got himself the tier of the goddess. That's starting to scale up. They already are starting to look like they have the workings of the Ginzu's Rage Blade for Sneaky, but it is a little bit trailing. When is Cloud9 going to come online?
Cloud9, as you were saying, there are 3 core items needed for Kale. In order for her to truly come online, I think she needs the Ginzus as well as the Nashers, so that will be the first breakpoint of this team. Otherwise, you have to look for that Ezreal. He has the tier, he has the Sheen, which is great, but he's going to need to finish up both of those items if he wants to come online. And personally, I don't think he has a good mid game just because of how far behind he's been.
Difficult for Cloud9 playing with this deficit. Rift Herald popped in mid by Odd Orange. They want to crack this base, get the tier 1 so they can continue this pressure, continue the objective control that they've been maintaining over Cloud9.
Yes, indeed, and getting that turret is going to be so necessary. They're going to keep pushing on to the second tier. Will they be able to get it? Looks like some ults are popped.
Niki taking a lot of damage. The Rift Herald went down. Here comes the Equalizer, forced to use intervention onto himself with absolute zero from Blaber. It put himself in a horrible position, and Yasui picks on the poor Nunu Rider.
They can siege this so hard. They had the options available. They had the Rumble ultimate, they had the Lucian ultimate, and they had so much damage coming in from the Rift Herald.
This was a great rotation by FOXa Academy. They got 2 turrets off of that push. They got the ult out of Sneaky. They got the kill onto Blaber. And with the fact that they don't really need to get much more on the map, they can easily start looking for other lanes.
Shiro.
You have to be careful, because if Odd Orange gets the solo kill on to Odd Orange, he is going to be so scary on this Riven.
That shouldn't have happened.
It shouldn't have happened, but it was great that it happened for Cloud9, because now they can rely on Riven split push.
This is the one thing that they needed to worry about on the side of FOXa Academy is Shiro starting to pop off. They kept him under wraps for the laning phase, but these solo picks are going to be huge if they ever get them.
So we look at this play. Odd Orange, he's like, I got all this. I can easily start getting control of the map, but not respecting Shiro on this Riven. And we know how Shiro is on Riven.
Shiro was just bot side. All he did was take the Rift Scuttler, and that was enough to just rotate up, get Graves in a pseudo one-on-one.
Pseudo one-on-one. It's funny because they had Stand United on top of him. They really didn't need it.
No, not at all. So maybe that was a bit of an overextension coming in from Cloud9 Academy. However, it's still a kill. It's still a little bit of momentum on their side. They need to stop this Graves as much as possible before he scales out of control.
However, they are down 3,000 gold at 13.5 minutes. That can be dangerous for Cloud9 if they're not careful. Even if Shiro is going to be a monster in this split push, he overextends, they get a pick onto him. They usually rotate for more objective control. They have to rely on this Riven being able to duel into Nintendude.
Which is going to be hard right now. Nintendude already picking up those ninja tab. He's able to get a lot of damage reduction against the Riven. But we do see in the mid side, a little bit of invade coming in from Odd Orange, not able to get a whole lot.
I believe Sneaky got the smite on that as well, so he was able to... No, yeah, he was able to secure that. So he gets that for himself, gets the red buff as well. Backs off, continuing to just get item after item. Already has the Ginsus with the Berserker Greaves, but now Keith is in a little bit of trouble. Here comes Odd Orange. They want to get the collateral damage, but it's the Equalizer to help slow him down already, as Zeyzal underneath the turret does take the collateral damage, but barely is able to survive.
Odd Orange able to sneak on in there and pick up that kill. Keith was so close to getting out, but unfortunately not able to in that situation.
This is a nice call coming in from Cloud9 Academy, where they pretty much have to sacrifice that top side of the map because they know that they have no control, and they use Sneaky and Blaber to get a chunk of damage onto that tier 1, and now they're rotating, looking to see if they can make this pick onto Nintendude X, but with that blue trinket already popped, is able to spot them out, and will have to give up this tier 1 bot.
Cloud9 Academy scrounging around trying to find something, and they do in the end. Yes, they lose a kill. Yes, they lose a turret on the top side, but at least they get something back. It's not what you want if you're Cloud9 Academy, but it's a little bit of gold influx.
He will trade the turrets, maintain the gold at around 3,000 deficit with Echo Fox. With this lead, where especially for Lucian, he wants to be ahead this early. He's sitting 1-0-3, has that Blade of the Ruin King compared to Keith, who had just finished the Manamune. When, for the side of Echo Fox, can they really look for these team fights? Do they want to start pressuring it now? Because they have so much control of vision on the top side of the map.
And as you say, you want to pressure around the time when Baron comes up as well. The Dragon is up, it's only a Cloud Drake, it's something, but you want to pressure when you have more objectives. So when the Baron comes up, I think we're going to see Fox Academy going extremely hard, and that'll be in about 4 minutes when they're able to get vision control and they're able to use their ultimates at level 11.
Couldn't agree with you more. Want to wait until they have a little bit more of that spike, wait a few minutes, because they can maintain this lead, not sacrifice too much, but they don't want to wait too long, because it's going to be eventually a point in this game where Cloud9 Academy are too powerful and it is impossible to actually stick to their backline, let alone kill them.
It is extremely difficult. You don't have many options available, but at the very least, Fox Academy can look around this map and they can say, we have control. Keep pushing that vision, keep pushing all of your advantages that you already have, and then just, you can wait. You have the option of waiting with 2 Cloud Drakes. You can move around the map as much as you possibly can, and even more so with that, what is that, 8% out of combat movement speed?
Yeah, I believe so. It's going to be really nice for the side of Echo Fox to get around this map, keep looking for these rotations, especially for Odd Orange. He wants to make sure that he's not making a mistake like he did before, running into Shiro head-on and thinking that he can battle against Riven. Doesn't matter if you are Graves. You've gone for a little bit more lethality in your kit. Not going to be that powerful as Sneaky
Lost going in.
is going to fight against the Lost. That is going to be the calling, doing a lot of damage. Absolute zero to zone away this Lucian, but it's going to be jumping back forward. Not able to actually get too much damage back onto Sneaky, so he will survive.
He'll survive, but he does take a lot of damage and is just getting out-pressured around this map. The funnel strategy is going to be rough from here on out just because of the control that Fox Academy has shown.
So they're struggling to control Shiro, who's been looking for these all-ins consistently on to Nintendude whenever he's just a little bit too far out. Conqueror going to be able to shred through any of the resistances. That Iceborne Gauntlet that was picked up by Ornn going to make him a little bit more difficult for Riven to kill, but not necessarily too bad because that's against the Black Cleaver build of Shiro.
Shiro's definitely the win condition currently, and this is one thing we talked about when we were talking about Champ Select, is how flexible this composition coming out from Cloud9 Academy is. Yes, they have a Kale, but Kale can still use that intervention on someone else if they feel that that's the game-winning condition right now. And currently, Shiro is looking incredibly big, so with Stand United and intervention, that's a lot of tools available.
Sneaky has completed the jungle item, going for the Blood Razor. Not going to go for the rush on to Nashor's Tooth, like we usually expect, getting that increased cooldown reduction as well as more on-hit damage out of Kale. It still has the on-hit. Yeah, still has a lot of damage. It can shred through, especially Odd Orange if he gets a little bit too close and cannot burst down Kale. But is this the optimal build that you want to go on if you're Kale? We'll have to hold on to that and theorize in just a little bit. The equalizer was laid down. Flash coming in from Blaber, but it's going to be respected by Yasui with the collateral damage to sentence Nunu to death.
There's not a whole lot you can do to get away from that. That Rumble equalizer slows you so much. And even though there isn't a Rylai's finish, that is still more than enough to take out a Nunu that is behind at this stage in the game.
But it is Nunu. Sure, he's 0-3-0 on Blaber, but that's not the person you need to rely on. He's got Nice Vow. He can start buffing up Sneaky, and as long as he can get that blood boil down onto Kale, that's when it's going to be all worth it for him. Get a little bit of zone control, sure, from Absolute Zero, but really, it's about getting the attack speed and AP onto Kale.
But that's all he can provide at this point, is that attack speed buff. He's not able to tank anything at this point in the game just because of how far behind he is. He doesn't even have ninja tabbies or any tier 2 boots to speak of yet. Yes, the Knight's Vow is going to be great, but I feel like we need more tankiness out of this C9 Academy team if they want to survive this mid-game.
Shiro looking like he wants to go for the dive onto Nintendo. That's the Stand United getting a flash from Ornn. Could turn their attention back onto this turret. They already popped the ult out of Shiro, so it's just going to be a little bit of chip damage, but it's going to be respected by FOXa in mid, looking to see if they can knock at the door of Cloud9 Academy.
And we were talking about when they were going to go in. 4 seconds to Baron, 1956. They are looking at that inhibitor turret. They don't even need to siege just because they got the out rotation.
Yeah, they're tanking that. Odd Orange was tanking the turret the whole time. Absolute Zero to do a little bit of zone control, but look how low the members of Fox are down. They got the wish. Sneaky's starting to get a little bit of damage, but the teleport might zone them away just a little bit. It's only going to be Nintendo riding it out. Here comes the call of the Forge Guard. They're splitting up, trying to see if they can get a little bit of zone between themselves. Not going to get the knockup coming back in. Shiro still wants to go for the chase. He flash forward, knock up onto Nintendo X, and Blaber will get his first kill of the game as Cloud9, they slap back.
What an overextension coming in from Fox Academy, going for that turret, feeling like they had the rotations, but the engage was still there from Cloud9 Academy.
Oh, great taunt onto Odd Orange as well, forcing the flash. They're zoning away the junglers, because look at that. Cloud9 have started onto the Baron. They're trying to make sure that Fox can't get into it. It's down to 50%, but they gotta be
Equalizer!
careful. Equalizer is gonna do a lot of damage. It finished off Blaber as well as Shiro. You're zoning the best he could. It's gonna be the smite battle. It goes over to Sneaky. He wins it out, and they turn it back onto Fox. They pick up 2 members, make that 3. Get the shutdown as well. Somehow, Cloud9 Academy, they pull that out of their hat.
This is a tale of 2 completely differing win conditions. You have the overextension from Fox, but then Cloud9 overextend, and then Fox overextend again. This is an incredible back and forth between these 2 teams.
This is only devastating for FOXa, though. They had a 3,000 gold lead just a couple minutes ago, and now Cloud9, they're getting the wins. They have the Nashor's Tooth spike out of Sneaky with Baron buff on top of him. This is what we were saying for Cloud9 was their win condition, is getting Sneaky ahead, getting him these items, and now they can start pushing down, getting these objectives, these turrets, and gold.
That equalizer in the Baron pit should have been the end of it, but they weren't able to collapse fast enough. This is Cloud9 Academy just rotating a little bit faster, and this mid-game is playing out so beautifully for them because of that Baron.
Now, this is insane. This is just absolute craziness out of Cloud9, where they're starting to turn it online. Sneaky with the smite on point as well, even though it was the 50-50 smite battle. Proven to people maybe he's just as competent a jungler out there as many others.
He can do it all, as can Kale. And when you have Smite available in the pit and no one is there to contest you, turns out it's pretty easy.
So far, Cloud9 are sending 4 members towards the top side of the map. They actually have it split up 2-2-1. Shiro left uncontested in the bot lane. Should be able to take out that tier 2, but the equalizer put down. Sneaky taking a huge chunk of damage. Has to use the intervention with the Absolute Zero for a little bit. Heal coming in just to give him a little bit more. But he will get out of dodge. the rest of Cloud9 Academy backing off.
The disengage tools coming out of Cloud9 Academy are so massive at this point in the game. They are able to get Sneaky completely safe without even using an ultimate from Zeyzal, which they still have available, just using the intervention as well as the absolute zero.
That's crazy. Keith was able to get that tier 2 in mid. Shiro being a monster on this Riven. Nintendo X cannot step up to Shiro. He cannot battle with him at all. And now they're going for the full push onto all 3 inhibitor turrets at the exact same time from Cloud9.
This is such a spike coming in from Cloud9 Academy. Who would have thought 5 minutes ago that they would be in this position? They're able to just push every single lane with a 2-2-2 based on the mobility of their comp, as well as the advantages that they've accumulated so far in the game.
Shiro still not being answered properly. Should be able to open up the base as the rest of Echo Fox want to look to get Sneaky. He will have intervention, so he's able to throw that back onto his head. So much damage. Wish might be able to save the lives of Echo Fox today. But look at Zeyzal and Shiro. They want to keep putting the pressure onto Echo Fox as they open up the first inhibitor tower, getting the first inhibitor so low.
They used the same United there. They used one of their disengage tools. They used 2 of them with the Divine Intervention, but they were not able to get Sneaky out, and that's the disadvantage. If Blaber's ever away from Sneaky, they're just going to go all in on the side of Echo Fox.
At the same time, look at how much was gained by Cloud9 off that one Baron. 3 minutes, they spike up to 6,500 gold over Echo Fox. Get their first Dragon of the game, and it's a Mountain Drake nonetheless.
This advantage coming in, they're able to push something that they thought was completely behind them, but they just found that weakness, that one overextension from Fox Academy, and they were able to push it into 2, or what was that, 4 turrets? And an inhibitor, almost?
So Zeyzal got himself a Shirelia's Reverie on Shen. He wants to go fast and make sure that he can help pick off members to keep Sneaky alive. This is something unusual out of Shen. You usually don't see that. Maybe I'd understand on Blaber just because you get a little bit more of that AP, but they've already put Zeeks. They've already got Knight's Vow onto Blaber. They don't need any more of that to keep Sneaky alive. Why not just make everyone else go fast so they can have the initiation into the backline?
And this plays so beautifully into their win condition. You saw them on the 2-2-1 split. With that Shirelia's Reverie, they're able to just move around the map even faster.
Here comes FOXa. They want to make a play on Orn. He's taking a chunk of damage, but the equalizer was beautiful. Picking up a double kill almost instantaneously out of Echo Fox as they keep looking for these picks. They got 3 members on Cloud9, and Shiro not able to maintain the push. Has to be so careful because with the death timers as long as they are right now, and Keith by himself against 5 members of Fox, they will have to back off, help him out so that they do not lose the base.
And that was all based on Shiro not having teleport there. They went all in and were able to hit 3 members with that equalizer. So much damage coming out of this team. Both teams so mid-game focused means if there's a team fight, it's all about who gets that initiation.
Fox didn't lose a single member. They got themselves the inhibitor in mid lane. Compared to Cloud9, who were not able to actually get the inhibitors before, will make it very in favor of Echo Fox this game. Topsy-turvy, back and forth. Even though it is a gold lead for Cloud9, they have to be a little bit more wary in these team fights. They cannot let themselves get controlled by those equalizers.
And those equalizers are going to be very important. On the other side, though, we've talked about how unstoppable Shiro is. Currently almost got the Flame Horizon onto Orn. So that's going to be an incredibly scary member. If they can keep that together, or if somehow Riven can join in team fights, maybe that'll be what pushes them over the edge.
It's actually crazy. Cloud9 CS all across the boards has been really well done. Sure, Blaber the only one not really having that much, but it's meant to be that way. They sacrifice us to put all the gold on Sneaky, Keith, Shiro, like you mentioned, pretty much skyrocketing ahead of Nintendo X and looking like he is unstoppable. He has that mortal reminder as well, just to make sure that Nintendo X cannot step next to him.
And that's one thing about Nintendo X's build, is that he went into that Abyssal Mask, so he has the magic damage protection, but he does not have enough armor yet. He built the Bramble Vest, he built the Ninja Tabi, and he built the Frozen Fist, but that's not enough against this Riven who now has armor penetration.
We need to see Shiro a part of these fights because it can be so devastating for Echo Fox since they've been relying on Shiro to keep them into this game. Getting them where they are right now is drawn on to 37.5 minutes, where before the early game completely controlled by FOXa, but Cloud9 being able to crawl their way back in, get this gold lead. Now, needing to make sure that they win, but this TP from the Nintendo X, Shiro sees it. He spots it out, so the rest of Cloud9 need to start backing off immediately as they want to go onto Keith. Great flash away. He has Arcane Chip as well, but Shiro does not care. He's not deterred. He wants to be able to open up the base of FOXa, who are still looking for this pressure around the Baron that has come up, but nobody able to stop it just yet. Shiro still has the minions coming in, and Cloud9 look like they want to make sure that these recalls do not get connected, because Shiro is keeping the pressure into the base. He's on the Nexus turret right now as Cloud9 look like they want to start up the Baron. They want to keep forcing the members of FOXa onto him. Here comes the Equalizer. One Nexus turret is gone, and they flash forward from Yasui. He wants to get into this fight. Redemption! Pick up the kill with the redemption, but Zeyzal is the only one who falls. Shiro is not done. He's taking out the Nexus. He wants the teleport in. They want to look like they want to end the game. Shiro could make the godlike play, the backdoor, but here comes Odd Orange. But Keith with the team. Somehow, Cloud9, they get the backdoor victory.
Shiro just went backdoor and completely ended the game. This is identical to the TSM Academy game earlier. How does that happen?
That is insane. I heard Mark laughing over there too. That was crazy. Shiro with the X-Peke winning that game over FOXa. We kept hyping up Sneaky on this kill, but that Riven cannot be given to Shiro.
We were debated. We thought the Kale would be the ultimate carry in this game, but no. Shiro's Riven coming back from week 1, now in week 3, able to get that backdoor into a victory.
I can feel my heart just like boom, 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 boom. Because that was insanity out of Cloud9 Academy, where really I don't think anyone would have saw two backdoors in a day happening. First with TSM on Pykick Lord, now Shiro on this Riven.
Gold funneling.
Gold funneling strat. We expected the gold funneling strat. This has been going on across all of the leagues, whether it's NA, EU, LCK, LPL. Everyone's been doing a strategy like this. But really, nobody expected the Riven to be this powerful, and shows the difference in skill between Shiro and Nintendo X, who's normally a jungler.
I mean, he's normally a jungler. He thought he was confident on that Orin, able to get a little bit of tankiness, as we were talking about in the early game, but it didn't matter.
The thing was, though, he teleported in behind. They thought they had the flank, but it was completely in vision of Shiro. He spotted that out, and he watched, too. He looked at that saying, the moment this completes, I end the game.
That was a bit of a misstep, considering Shiro absolutely had the ability to stop if he wanted, but clearly he didn't want to. They were both in vision of each other, and then he just pushed. There was no option for FOXa Academy to come back to the base.
I'm still in utter awe of what we have witnessed. But now we have to start changing our gears and wondering how the next game for Cloud9 Academy is going to go. They are against Optic Academy. So when we talk about Optic Academy, they're going to be playing Dokla, I believe, for the top lane against Shiro. Dokla has been someone who has been quite powerful, loves to play carry top laners as well. So comparing that to that performance out of Shiro, this could be a little bit of a more even battle.
It's definitely going to get spicy when you have two players who are so confident on these carries. The Riven, the Aatrox, the Camille. So many options available for both of these players. It'll thunder. There's the strobe lights, the thunder coming in for that Cloud9 victory. In fact, it was so delayed because we didn't even know that that was going to happen. Because that's how crazy that was out of Shiro. Paul, how are you feeling?
Paul does not look interested in this at all. Oh, whoa. Whoa.
Oh, colorful.
Whoa.
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 The colors coming in. Getting a rave happening now.
Yep, it is exciting.
Whoa. It went back to the other way. Okay, there we go. We're off of that again.
Yep.
We would love highlights.
Yeah,
Mark.
let's look at the
you
highlights.
You start playing
Why
those
not?
highlights, we will go into it as we get a look over. This is last week.
It is last week.
This is last week, but we can talk about this.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
No,
we're
back. All right.
We're back.
Sure.
Okay.
Good to be here.
Epilepsy warning. It's okay. It's okay. We can meme a little bit about how people were talking about Incredibles 2 being an epilepsy warning kind of movie as well. So
yeah,
at least it's not as much. I heard it was like 10 full minutes in Incredibles 2 of like like flashing lights.
Oh, there was.
Yeah,
there was.
I haven't seen the movie still. So
it's a good movie.
Don't spoil it out there. I'm not going to even read Twitch chat now, because now that I've said that, people are going to start spoiling it.
Oh, it's absolutely
Oh,
there.
yeah. So that's why I don't even want to look at it. Now, here we go. We got the replay. So we got to look at this first dive successfully from Echo Fox.
And as I said, Odd Orange just coming in with a good positioning behind in that tri-bush, able to get a lot of damage down, secure the kill, and then get them dead.
This is a really nice push as well from Echo Fox. They controlled the early game over Cloud9 Academy, where it was very hard for them to actually step up, and look at Sneaky, how much damage he took before Blaber even tries to help.
Oh, 100%. You just have so many options available to you with the Graves and with the Equalizer that you can just push on in.
And since it's Blaber not really having that many stats at this point, and in fact only having that Kindle gem to really be anything to step up against, so he wasn't able to tank anything. Now, Shiro, this is probably the moment where everyone's saying, okay, now he's going to be scary.
He's going to be scary, and you would think one kill would not be enough to promote him into this hyper carry role, but as we saw, that's what happened.
I mean, it is also a Riven. He was able to already have that Tiamat before, then he goes back, gets the Black Cleaver, gets all that armor shred into Nintendo deck, so he can't do anything, and now the continued pressure out of Echo Fox Academy, where they're able to get that pick onto Keith. Keith, Zeyzal, and Blaber struggled in the early game, really to have the positioning properly in order to step up to the members of Echo Fox. But the biggest thing is, those three members aren't necessarily the hard carries in this match.
No, not at all. And yes, Blaber kept getting caught out, but as you said, it didn't really matter because he had Shiro, because you had Sneaky on the Kale. There were so many options available to them.
Exactly. And looking at this play right here, I believe this is where...
This is the overextension.
Yeah, the overextension where somehow Cloud9 were able to turn this around. Sneaky, mostly.
Yeah, Sneaky and Keith on the backside, able to get so much damage down on an AoE scale that they just completely ran through the team of Fox Academy, able to get them to back off. But unfortunately, this was followed by a minor overextension.
And look right there, Nintendo X used the call of the Forge God. He wanted to get the multiple mana knockup, but it was a great zoning taunt out of Zeyzal to make sure that you couldn't actually go for the knockup back up, because he would have been taunted the moment that that had connected.
And this was the pick coming in. They get Sneaky right here because Nunu had to back off, didn't quite feel confident to go up to the absolute zero, and a few things used, but at the same time, that was an inhibitor.
There was also so much damage coming out of Sneaky where he was almost able to turn it around at the same time and forcing the wish out of Adrian. Now, this pick right here was great out of Fox.
A 3-man knockup coming in from Call of the Forge God, combined with the Equalizer, is just a dead team immediately right there.
And so right here, we didn't get to see the TP before that was used by Nintendo X to go for this 4v5 fight. And really, Cloud9, they had to have been saying, hey, keep them around the Baron. I'm going to end it right now.
Yeah, and they did, as we do see. When you have no options to get back because of the range coming in from Ezreal, because of Sneaky's damage, there was no way that the team of Echo Fox Academy could get back and deal with Shiro, who was just backdooring, hit the Nexus, hit Horn, hit the Nexus, flash away, dead Nexus.
You know what's funny is I don't even think they needed Keith for that play.
No.
He teleported in, but that was such a great flash from Shiro to stay away from the two members. It was reminiscent of the cast and play on Xpec way back in the day where he kept jumping over the Nexus and no one could actually get onto him.
No, not at all. And that's just entirely due to vision setups and just a very strange shot call coming out of Echo Fox Academy.
So then Optic Academy have to have been watching this game,
Yep.
have to read the gold funneling strat that Cloud9 Academy want to go for. So this is what begs the question. Will Nunu be picked or will he be banned against Cloud9 Academy?
Even watching this game, I feel like all the teams have spin and scrims, they've seen this strategy before, and this should have been banned out already. And Optic is going to look at this game, they're going to look back at scrims and say, okay, maybe this is a strategy Cloud9 Academy has practiced a lot, and maybe, just maybe, this is something we shouldn't let them have.
And I'm looking over towards the jungler for the side of Optic. It's Fnatic. He's played a lot of Zeyzal. He's got a couple Trundle, Rek'Sai as well. So usually that's the person who gets the gold funneled onto them. So that could be the answer. Honestly, if you're on Optic Academy, maybe just use Fnatic as the person that you give all the gold to.
It's a strategy, certainly, but you want to make sure it's on a hyper carry as much as possible as we get into picks and bans. We want to make sure that if you're going to do a gold funneling, it has to be someone who can hyper carry. The Kale, which has been banned away, very smart on Optic Academy. or it has to be a Kai'Sa, something that can go from range and just completely devastate the game by themselves.
Really surprised to see the Kayle ban, because usually you only see that when Nunu's paired up, and then Nunu can also go with Kai'Sa, like you mentioned, can go with Karthus. There's so many things that you can pick up for Nunu, where you can shift it around in the Sejuani ban. Normally, we'd say, oh, that's definitely aimed at Blaber. Looking at last week, he played the hybrid, where he got the Runic Echo's first item for the Sejuani to get a little bit more damage early, but seems to have been abandoning that strategy for this week, as looking over for Cloud9, pretty much the exact bans that we'd expect out of them. Hylia, Zoe, Aurelia probably going to be the last.